dismissed or put to the back of our minds over these last 2 years or so, that it's not one single thing that Mark Golding has done that you must find yourself raising concern with. It is a series of poor decisions made on behalf of him, if not by him, on behalf of him by the People's National Party over the last period of time, relating to when it was found out that yes, he still is the holder of a British passport. And I recall when I asked him at a press conference at the time what was his thoughts on the notion of someone with dual allegiances sitting in the chambers of parliament, whether the upper house or lower house, and he went in to defend the position without bringing to the attention of the media at the time, and my attention, because I asked him the question directly, that he himself was a dual citizen and that he himself was essentially advocating for himself as a member of that category. That issue kind of turned me off because I have the greatest respect for Mark Golding, what he did as Justice Minister, and many of the policies that he put forward, including the hand he played in the creation of the Integrity Commission. Mm-hmm. But that put me off to many of the things. And then the poor decision made in terms of that skit about taking the chains off the black man in bondage. Mm-hmm. Any other sensible democracy, the United States, the UK, any sensible democracy where that would have been put on screen, that image would have been put on screen, the leader of a political party would resign and step aside. No, there wouldn't even be a question of that happening. If you saw Donald Trump standing on a political platform with a chain around a black man's neck and him holding it, I don't care how many people think Donald Trump is untouchable, how much they think he's a Teflon Don, it wouldn't stand. He would not win re-election. Simple. But because we have such little respect for ourselves in Jamaica, Mr. Golding remains not only the potential Prime Minister of Jamaica, but based on the polling recently, the front runner for the role of Prime Minister of Jamaica.
I think generally, Siobhan, I'm just gonna, extend the matter beyond just that incident with Mark Golding. I think generally that our politicians many times, they do things that when you look at the things that they do here in Jamaica and put it on a much broader international scene, if they were in any other country, and I said it the other day, they would have been asked, well, not even asked, they would have handed in their resignation. The bar is so low in this country that our politicians can do things and they simply move past it and it's business as usual. And as people within this country, we have to also demand more from our politicians. The things that we find offensive from them, we need to call them out on it because they are there as leaders to set example. And when they do things like that, we have to call them out on it and they have to do the honorable thing and resign.
And whether Mr. Lambert Brown actually says he's proud of his leader, and he can say that as much as he wants, he's beholden to the leader for his position in the Senate. I don't mean that to be disparaging. It's just a simple matter of fact. That's how the Senate works. You can tell that the members of this opposition Senate were very uncomfortable in that moment. Mm-hmm. Very much so. And the performative presentation of Mr. Lambert Brown trying to call Sapphire Longmore a racist, it was what it was. It was a pantomime. It was an attempt to deflect. That was all it was. There was no substance to it because they know that the image is bad. They know it looks terrible and they know it's not avoidable. Right. And then to add to that, I have the other concern that even after the matter of Mr. Golding's dual citizenship came to the fore, I thought any reasonable person would simply say, it's not worth holding the British passport, I'm just going to give it up and that is it. No, Mr. Golding decided that, no, I'm going to say, well, it's fine, it's okay in the law, there's no problem. But if maybe the Jamaican people have an issue with it, I'll have to go look about it. And then he went further to say, then I'll ask the People's National Party's NEC to cast a vote on it. Why would it have to come to that? If you genuinely are a self-respecting Jamaican, you shouldn't need an NEC. You shouldn't need others in the country to ask you if you're okay with it. You should have
Mhm.
taken it upon yourself to realize this is an issue. I'm trying to lead a country, as Senator Longmore said, one of the oldest black democracies in the world. And I am the holder of a British passport seeking to lead that country while also telling that country that we should sever ties with the British monarchy. I don't understand the decision making that is happening at the upper levels of the People's National Party when these issues come about. All they believe at the end of the day is they can brush it aside because, well, we are heading the polls. We can just burn it all to the ground, take any issue on any stance we want, and we will be in Gordon House come next 2020, come the end of 2025. And I
You
have a
know,
serious problem with that.
someone, Siobhan, as you talk about that, someone on radio, no, someone sent me a message on social media this morning, in a sense indicating that they don't see why I questioned, or both of us yesterday questioned Donna Scott Motley on the need for the party to respond to the issue that was swirling as it relates to Lawrence Rowe. And as you indicated, many individuals who support the party, they're of the belief that let us just ride it out. We don't have to address matters such as these. And I'm happy that Dayton Campbell decided to finally address the matter, albeit so late. But that is the posture that we're seeing just generally. We don't have to address it. We can just ride it out, and we will be ushered into Gordon House come September, whenever the election is called. It's just unfortunate what we're seeing.
And the sad fact of the matter is, they might be right. It might be that we as Jamaicans have so little self respect for ourselves, so little in terms of pride for what it means to be Jamaican and what it means for our heritage, that we will allow somebody to enter into office after they've made so many cultural and social gaffes. I mean, they can call Mr. Holness corrupt as much as they want, even if the evidence is still not there to suggest that. They can needle him on that, but what they can never accuse the Prime Minister of being is a poor cultural representative of his country.
Hmm.
And that is
Right.
something Mr. Golding, on routine occasion, has become. And they need to address it in a way that I feel is important, that they understand that they are seeking to lead the country and that it cannot be a simple matter as whatever it takes to get into government, whatever it takes, whoever we have to disparage, whoever we have to drag down, whoever we have to tear down, whatever it takes, we as the People's National Party must become the next government of Jamaica. It's disgusting. I can't put it any further than it disgusts me to my core.
Well, here's a challenge, Siobhan.